fucking get it.
No, they won't get it. You can't tell people. There's nothing you can tell people. You have to be here in it to be able to understand.
I just kind of stopped talking about it altogether. I just kind of like
that was
internalize it all and then find other ways to channel out that energy by just like having a big cry or something.
Listen to rage-filled music. I can recommend some good stuff. But also that panel should have been called the erroneous assholes. That's all they are. They don't tell truth. They're just sitting there to shame and blame and point fingers. Like, every single person on that panel has doxed somebody on this app in the last month.
Yep.
I don't want to hear anything that comes out of their fucking filthy mouths.
And then on top of it, the fucking comment section is just going wild with doxing and no one's saying
They were doxing Jenny repeatedly in the comments while Amy and fucking Samuel were shaming Jenny for alleged doxing.
The fuck?
Like, you can't make this shit. You can't write this shit. The gaslighting. Like, you can't.
Oh, I know.
They don't call that shit out. They don't call each other out. But they're like, oh, the way that you responded to this, you're the problem.
Exactly.
Yep. But that's typical abusive behavior, right? Like
it's so abusive.
It's super
fucking
abusive.
Sammy is like a number. Like, Sammy gives me major abusive. Like, she's just a straight up abuser.
Yes.
That's what
it's very hard, again, to explain to people when it's not a love relationship, right? When that is happening from somebody that, like, even sometimes you hardly know. And you're just like, this is bad. Like, it's very, very bad.
Well, because Sammy phrases things like, you don't have the right, and you don't get to, and you need to understand. It's straight up abusive.
And then belittling your intelligence the entire way through.
Yep.
You just don't understand because you're not smart enough. Maybe you're just not smart enough to understand
you don't get it because I'm educated and you're not. And she'll do something small, like when Ash made fun of Jenny's foot. She stepped in and was like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. I also am disabled. And then she does that intentionally so that she can slip it in her pocket. And then further down the conversation, which she did, she's like, I even defended you 5 minutes ago when Ash said this about your disability. She does it only, like, solely to use it as an ace. She doesn't actually mean it. She doesn't actually care. It's done with the utmost intent. And it's dirty and it's underhanded. It's as dirty and underhanded as her crusty fucking lips.
Well said, Doses. Well said. Like, I don't have any respect for them at all. Any of those people. I don't have any respect for any of them. Just listening to and when people are like, maybe you should just talk to them one-on-one and stuff. I'm like, why?
But I could say personally, I tried that shit.
Like, I've tried that with Sammy too. It does not work. The second you don't agree with Sammy, you don't want to know why me and Sammy stopped talking? Like, we talked for what? Maybe fucking, like, 3 hours, not even consistently, on Snapchat to try and find a middle ground. And she started saying she started talking about your dad. She started talking about you. And she started saying that, like, she's going to prove that your dad that's not your dad's obituary and all this shit that you're lying about.
Does she want to play like that? My dad's fucking 3-year anniversary was yesterday of his death.
No,
she's
trying to get information.
They're
trying to get information. Don't fall.
But that's what got us. That's what made me stop. I was like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm like, that's disgusting that you're gonna do that to Doses. That is her father. Leave that shit alone. Like, fuck this. And that's what ended that interaction. I ended it because Sammy wouldn't let it go. Sammy wanted to fucking come after you and say that wasn't your father and you're using somebody else's dead father to identity theft or whatever. I don't know. She was just very all about that. I was like, fuck this shit. Like, you're fucking disgusting. That's why our conversations ended. She doesn't want to talk about that though. She tells people, I couldn't handle talking to her. It lasted 2 days. And it's like, why don't you tell them why I cut that off?
Wow.
Like, that's
wow, Sammy. That's low, Sammy, even for a gutter pig like you. That's
low. You don't deserve that shit. You and I weren't even getting along at that time. Like, you and I were.
But you don't do that to somebody, man. You don't go after someone's dead relative, especially their parents.
Fuck that. Yeah.
Like.
So, and then she goes and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna try and put What'd she say? A fucking trans, disabled, single mother raising a minor child at risk or something. She said that today. I'm like, what the fuck?
No one gives a fuck, Sammy. No one gives a fuck about your victim status.
You just said that you're a single mother, which means you're a woman. You're a single mother who's in school right now, living off of a government grant.
Yeah, 100%.
It's projection of their own insecurities at the end of the day, and even I'm not going to say any names if anybody wants to talk about it, but finding people's abusers, are you fucking that was one of my biggest fears. I'm not going to delve too deep into it, but that's fucked up. That is literally the ultimate threat, because and a lot of these women that are doing this shit claim that they've been through abuse. You know what?
Yeah, and then they weaponize shit like that.
Fucking not.
Yep. And then they weaponize shit like that.
It really makes me mad. It really makes me fucking mad.
Well, it's worse that Sammy said that I deserve to be safe. And after they fucking exposed who my abuser is, that I deserve to be safe. Even I deserve to be safe. But then yesterday or the day before and yesterday, I think it was yesterday, up in Samantha's panel saying that she has questions about my situation, doesn't all line up, and that my abuser's in jail for another 6.5 years, so I'm fine. That's his brother. Wow. And I think that she intentionally is spinning the story of his brother in jail, because my ex is out. She's intentionally spinning the story of his brother to try to justify them coming after me and her coming after me.
That's what they do, though. They try to justify. They get busted in doing something completely fucking vile, and then they sit there and do everything they possibly can to justify their absolutely fucking disgusting behavior.
They'll literally be explaining something and you'll be like, no, that's not this. And they jump without even warning. They just shift and they're like, oh, I'm talking about this and this and you said this. And it's like, you just switched to a completely different thing in the middle of this. And you're making me feel like I'm stupid because you think I didn't catch on. I
don't know about y'all, but if I put anybody in the line of fire or in any form of danger, I would have nightmares on my own for what I just fucking did. It would haunt me.
Yeah, I couldn't.
This is why I know there's a lack of conscience there.
Well, and there's a lack
of understanding. It might be intentional, though. I think it might be intentional.
Absolutely, it's intentional. They're doing this on purpose.
Sorry, Steph.
That's okay. Lisa and I have fought. It never made its way online. Nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
We've disagreed. And when we did, it was never, I'm going to spew anything private. You know what I mean? There were things that you share with your friends that are, because you think that you're with somebody that cares about you. And if you have any integrity at all, then you should have enough respect for the friendship for that person, despite the fact that you may not like them at that time, to just keep it to yourself and leave it offline.
Absolutely.
I've admitted that I fucked up a little along the way. I did share some screenshots from my group chat to people that I told them, and they promised me that it wouldn't make it online. It was just for their own clarity for things, so that they had answers to things, and that's it. And then they ended up using that against me and weaponizing it and posting it online. And
anybody asking for screenshots,
but I shouldn't have done that. The initial thing is I should have never shared that stuff to begin with, and I'll never ever. I learned my lesson, in the mission to try and do make things right and do the right thing. I didn't do the right thing, and I hurt people. And so, you said that, Steph, and I didn't want to sit here and be like, yeah, exactly, because then I'd be a hypocrite, because I did fuck up. So
I respect that, because again, integrity, right? So you're owning it. And the thing is that nobody's
I'm not proud of it, trust me. And I didn't do it out of malice. I was literally doing it because I thought I was helping people. I thought I was helping people that I wrongfully hurt. And it turns out I didn't wrongfully hurt any of these people. They just played victim really good. That's all.
Yeah.
So, and I was stupid.
It's hard to navigate on here, and sometimes you trust the wrong people and it comes back and it burns you, and it is what it is. But honestly, I love the way that we have built this little community. That's why I was inspired to write that book, that little story, not a book. It's because honestly, I felt like we needed something positive, and I was trying to do something that was fun and gets everybody involved.
Sorry, I'm just blocking Moist Cake because fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one.
Where have I been?
Bye.
I have no idea what's
I can't
going
fucking
on.
stand him. Oh my god. Can't. He purposely tries to get under people's skin. And like last night, hearing him call me a white supremacist and trying to convince Spotted to like stay away from me because I'm a white supremacist. Go fuck yourself.
Really?
Last night he was saying repeatedly that you're a white
Called her a
supremacist.
white supremacist.
He can't say that shit legally either. If they want to talk about legal bullshit like they were doing today, he can't slander you like that.
Like, I've been labeled Nazi, white supremacist, racist, and then I'm like, can you give me examples of, like, what makes me those things?
Never. I've never heard you say anything like that, and I think that, like, I've known you for what, like, a couple of years on and off at this point, and I've never heard you say anything except for, like, trying to basically bridge the gap, if that makes sense.
This AI thing is really fucked up. And I looked up this AI thing just to be like AI chatbots. And TikTok gives you, when you look that up in the search bar, it gives you a breakdown of how to create them.
Oh.
There's free apps out there that you can create these things. And TikTok shows you how to do it. And I just got one that said drama alert, dead dad theft with a mind-blowing emoji.
Oh my God.
That's fucked up.
So wait, somebody is sending that to you then?
Only I can see it. It's the AI chatbot.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people in our algorithm who
sending
are all...
it to you in live time?
Yeah, right now.
It's an I know, yeah, that came on when I was at the river, tried to host a live there. Freaking same thing. I'm like, can anybody else see that? And they're like, no, I forget what it said. It was something ridiculous, but it's like they're basically trying to like sum up the conversation and putting it in like it was weird. It was very weird.
Thank you, JD.
It's weird because I've been looking around to see if other people are also, like people outside of our algorithm are being like, have you guys noticed this AI chatbot saying really fucked up shit? And I'm not seeing anyone else making videos. I'm seeing people within our algorithm mentioning that, like, but they're all the people in our algorithm who are mentioning something all have certain people that stay within our lives, you know what I mean? Like that, just like trolls and stuff that pop around. I don't know.
Well, we had it when we were doing the trivia live that day. Like it was, I hosted.
You report it, Brad guy.
You can't report it. You can't touch it.
I did. I know you hold it down and then there's a report option.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I report every single one.
Wow.
Because they're all really derogatory and they're triggering and they're just like, I don't understand. Whoever's behind it is a sick person. Is it like soulless, sick person?
I think it's TikTok because nobody else can see it. How would they be able to navigate that? Like it has to be.
Well,
TikTok
go type in TikTok or AI chatbot, and TikTok will literally tell you in like 5 different ways how you can do this.
Wow.
So
that's disturbing.
But that's the dangers of AI. We should have all listened. Hi, Billy Mace. But yeah, I was being called like a white supremacist and shit. It's like, okay, I got called racist because I don't judge people on the color of their skin. So I don't know how that makes any sense. How am I a fucking white supremacist too? These people don't even know what these words.
Virtue signaling bullshit. Yesterday he was trying to say that white women's tears are like talking about.
I heard that too.
Talking about how much of a problem that is. And he thinks that white women open the most protection orders in Canada and that Indigenous people have the most protection orders against them. You can't find that data because it's privacy protected. Like they don't.
And not only that, but like when you're just focusing on somebody's like skin color, ethnicity or whatever, and you're not focusing on like why this person is putting this in, you're the problem. You're the racist person. You're basically saying that anybody who isn't white can't commit any type of crime or make anyone feel unsafe or anything like that. You're giving them a pass. And it's all white man bad. That's what you're essentially telling everyone. And I heard Moist Cake last night saying the whole like white woman tears thing puts Indigenous people at risk. Sure, if there's people out there that are faking their tears specifically just to try and frame somebody, that's fucked up.
Oh, Jenny,
especially
are
if
you
it's against their race, that's fucked up.
Come up?
But
I think
Jenny, come on your other account. Come on.
Oh no.
But when somebody is actually crying because they're upset and because they're hurting and because they are a human being and they have emotions and they have every right to fucking cry if they want to, or if they feel they need to, it has nothing to do with their fucking skin color. Like, anytime that I've shown any kind of emotion that makes people who hate me feel guilty for doing what they're doing, they just chalk it up to me being manipulative with my tears. And that's really fucked up.
Yeah, I've been accused of that too. And I'm like, do you know how hard it is for me to freaking cry in front of people? Very difficult. I've been trained to like walk away and not show people. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And Billy, like Billy saying, like, historically it has been a problem and can still continue to be a problem if people aren't mindful. But people aren't mindful of what? If somebody is legitimately just at their breaking point and they cry and they happen to be white and they happen to be a woman, you know, and the person that put them to their breaking point just happens to be a person of color, that's not white woman tears. So when you're saying like, oh, she's just crying so she can get out of shit, some people do that, sure.
It has
not
happened.
everybody.
Right.
So it's also very harmful
right.
to victims of abuse when you look at their skin color and you look at them crying and chalk it up to them, oh, they're just this is just white woman tears. Let's invalidate all of their pain and lived experiences and stuff. Do you know how damaging that is too?
Sorry, can I just address something that she just said?
I cry when I'm angry too.
Yeah, but this is what I want to address. Like, do you know that anger is actually repressed sadness? Like, that's literally what that is. And when you repress your sadness long enough, it turns into that anger. But the fact that you can cry when you're angry is actually a positive thing. I call it like the melting of the icicles, because again, that sadness can turn into just full on anger all the time, and you can't even cry anymore, you know?
It's grief. It's a sense of grief, really. It's like unhealed grief. And like, I cry when I'm angry too. And people think that I'm being like weak or something. It's like, no, I'm so angry. I can't help that this is happening. And then usually after, I'll just like bawl my eyes out once I'm done being angry, and I just let it come out.
But that's a positive thing. A lot of people can't do
like
that.
A cleansing.
It is. For years, I couldn't cry, girl. Like, because I was so numb. And then the sadness turned to anger, turned to numbness, turned to anger. And then all of a sudden I could cry without being angry. And I understood the process, right? But it all starts with repressing that sadness.
It's true. And there's a huge mix of like resentment in there too, and desperation, and like just desperation to be heard. Hey, that's okay, Steph. You can come back up if you want. Desperation to be heard, desperation to be like validated. Like, I don't know how many times I've tried to like say what I've gone through, and I've just given up now. Like, people can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't make it.
Is that not a peaceful place to be though?
It is.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be that person. Everyone knows, like, Samantha. If Samantha was here in 2023 and doing all this shit, I'd have been in almost every fucking one of her lives reacting to everything.
Yeah.
That they were saying, making videos to debunk everything that was being said. And it's like, I was working on a video to prove that Amy lied about me and what she said that I said about her husband, which was not true at all. I never said that. And she still wants to go on about it and stuff. And it's just like, what's the fucking point? I was working on a video. I had it pretty much all done. And then I was like, what's the point? What is the point?
That's why I sent you that message the other day, right? Because I don't want to see you get like roped back into that crap. Like, that was not me like disrespecting you by any means, but like.
And sometimes I do post things, and it's like, yeah, after I'm just like, I don't know why I did this, but at the same time, it feels like you're nipping it in the bud before it gets worse, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, if you can catch it at a good time and like de-escalate it at a good time, then maybe. But if you can't, and it just keeps catching on fire, then it's just like, all right, let it burn.
Hi, Keys. But timing is everything. I learned that too, because like some of the stuff that I'm actually getting out these days, I wanted to get out a year and a half ago, but nobody was fucking listening. So it wouldn't have mattered. I was wasting energy on things that I needed that energy for, and it wasn't this bullshit.
That's the thing. That's how I feel, is that this is a big energy distraction. And when it comes to the important stuff, that's all getting suppressed because instead we're sharing, this truth and that truth because there's so many, distortions or manipulations or whatever you want to call it. And instead you can't like talk about the things that actually, you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should all have a healing sesh sometime.
Oh, thank you, Keebs.
Even if it's off app.
Well, I think I'm going to be moving, actually, if you want to know the truth, I think I'm going to be moving over. I think I'm going to be just using my TikTok to post. And I think I'm going to move over to Facebook because apparently, like when you're gift, you don't get like the small percentage that we get here. And then I think it's just, I think there's more people on there. So I think there's a better chance of finding more people that are like-minded,
You like Facebook? I don't know what it is. Like, do you use Instagram as much as you used to?
I've never used Instagram, to be honest with you. I don't like the fact that I can't repost things. I don't like the fact that I have to download everything. Like, I really don't like Instagram. If you want to know the truth,
that's fair.
I don't like it either. There's something.
I used to have so much traffic on my Instagram post. I would post a post and within an hour I'd have like 300 likes on it and a bunch of comments and shares and whatnot. And ever since like election stuff started kind of coming around, my shit does not, I'm shadow banned like crazy. So I've kind of given up a little bit on Instagram for now, but when the election's over, I'm sure I'll go back in the algorithm or something. But my Facebook has just been popping off like crazy.
Well, I'm going to be moving over. I think I'm going to open a YouTube, and I think I'm going to move over to YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll follow you too, because I've been putting more stuff on my YouTube lately as well. I want to get, I've signed up for the monetization thing too, so I'm trying to reach my goals. I was eligible for monetization in the early winter, I think it was, or so, when my one reel got like 8 million fucking views and I was getting like all this traffic. I was eligible then, but I didn't know how to sign up for it. So I lost it. I have almost 17,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube right now.
Really?
I think it's like 5,000 to get monetized. No,
I've got 16.7K subscribers so far.
So we're wasting our time here, is what it is.
Yeah,
we
I've
don't
got 12K on
Instagram. We get paid nothing.
12K on Instagram. It's hard to get a lot of followers on Instagram. It's so hard.
Yeah, and that's why I don't have the
But I got 12K. I don't know how, but I did.
Good for you.
Thanks. I didn't pay for any of that either. That was all
I
organic.
love that. When they accuse you of paying for things, like, fuck.
The only time I've ever paid for followers
is
is on TikTok when I wanted to go live. Like, that's when you had to have 1,000 followers to, like, go live at all, or 500 or whatever. So that's the only time I ever, and at that time it was only like $12 to buy like 1,000 followers. Now it's like $30 on the same website.
So you know what we should do is use TikTok. So when we make these accounts, we make a TikTok and say, hey, come add me to X, come add me to whatever. You know what I mean? And then from there, we can actually like help each other, build each other up and get stuff that's actually like important out.
That's true.
That's what you have to do. Yep. Absolutely.
That's why I've been posting more of like, I don't really post like my TikTok drama stuff on my Instagram anymore. I just post like my political stuff and my thoughts. And Tumblr. Does anyone even use Tumblr anymore? I feel like Tumblr is like,
you know what? I've never, but I was gonna look at that. I was gonna look at Rumble. I was gonna look at Spotify with the podcast. I thought that would be probably a good idea.
We could do podcasting.
It's time we focus on ourselves, and not to sound like it's about clout or something like that. It's more so, there's so many things that need to be fixed. There's so many conversations that need to be had. And when you're stuck in the defending stuff from your past that doesn't matter, that you grew from and you learned from and, made you who you are today, you waste your time. You've already you've got those life lessons. You had them. You know what I mean? You don't need to explain it to anybody.
Yeah, true. I do want to get focused on like the good stuff again.
Hi, Pineapple.
I want to get happy again. I want to get like driven again. I've just been in a funk.
Yeah.
Everyone's been in a funk, and it's time to like, let's grow through what we go through, guys.
Red, they will follow wherever we go.
But
Facts.
They're our shadows, and that's fine. They want to be our shadows. Cool. Take it as a fucking compliment. If people are going to follow you around to try and hate on you, it's because they're feeling inadequate in their own lives. They could be putting that energy towards leveling up in their own lives, and instead they're putting it towards trying to level you down. So take it as a compliment. You're above them.
And
These
rising
people would wear
above
us
it
as
takes a
these people
lot
would wear
of
us as
strength.
skin suits if they had the opportunity to. Like deep down, you know, there's a lot of people, I'm noticing people who are hating on me are starting to edit the way that I do, are starting to put their logos at the end of their videos the way that I do. You know, like they're starting to say the things that I'm saying. They're starting to.
Because they're fans.
Yeah, and that's what I'm noticing. I'm like, you know what? It is true. I mean, I'm a humble person, but like maybe some of these people genuinely do envy me, and they just. But they hate that they envy me.
Because they're boring, Lisa. They're boring people. They're not creative enough to edit videos the way that you do, or to do the things that you do. They have to emulate it because they are boring. Look at Amy. Look at Amy. She's doing the shut up Shay thing. They're all copying all the shit we say now.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah.
They're just like taking on our personalities, and then they hate us so much, but they're taking on our personalities and then calling themselves.
Okay, but what else do narcissists do?
That's
you know
true.
this.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
They mirror you. And like, I'm not saying
They are
all
mirroring.
narcissists, but come on.
Are you spraying all the people who are like hissing at you right now, Doses?
No.
Are you spraying all the people you're keeping under the sink?
Oh, yes. No, those are in the
Red.
basement.
Oh, of course. Hi, Red.
I keep them chained up. Don't worry.
Your ears hurt the most, Mar, and you're on here.
Also, today
Our
is
3T voices.
today is 1 year sober for Darren. I don't know if anybody knows that. That's
yes,
amazing.
I did see that.
Congratulations, Darren. I'm happy for you.
I gotta go, guys. I forgot. I'll be back. I gotta do
Okay.
something. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Sorry, I love you. Bye.
Love you. That's awesome, though. That sounds ragey. What are you cleaning?
Billy,
I've never heard somebody spray scrubbing bubbles that hard.
are you comfy under the sink there, Billy?
Is there enough leg room under there?
I'd at least give her a closet.
Oh dear.
Guys are bad. But really, though, what
I
are
like Billy makes. All the counters and tables.
It's so satisfying when you clean and you just wipe everything away, and it's so sparkly and smells good. And
Oh yeah.
what's going on, Red?
Hey, Red.
Not much. Not much.
How's your day?
It's a day.
It's a day.
Like
I'm
every
hanging
other
out
day.
with John Denver in my room here.
Wash, repeat, rinse, whatever. Fuck, however that goes. I don't know. It's a
Is it
fucking
raining?
day.
Is it raining where you are right now?
I don't know.
You don't know. Haven't looked outside yet.
No. I'm drinking caramel coffee, and then I gotta gather all my laundry and go do laundry, and then I gotta organize my house. Well, my hole.
good.
I call it my hole.
Your hole?
Yeah. Yeah,
you-
my hole.
Are you in a new place from where you were? Did you go back to like the old place you were at?
No,
That sounds
no.
really
Oh,
stupid
fuck
for me to
no.
ask that question, but I've always been wondering. I'm like, did you have a deal with your landlord or something?
Oh, absolutely not. No, no.
So are you in an apartment now?
Yeah, I guess a bachelor, little tiny, like a one-room bachelor. There's like a little kitchen. I can fit in like a couch, a bed, a table. I'm gonna get a dresser in here if I can today. And then I have a bathroom, and yeah,
Sometimes that's all you need, though, right?
yeah.
If it's just you and the dogs, I mean, that's like perfect because you don't have to worry about so much like cleaning maintenance and stuff. It's all pretty well together.
I don't care about a big place or anything like that. It's just
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean it in a bad way when I say my hole. It's just like my little
Your bubble. Your whole
little
existence.
hole away from life. I crawl into my hole, I crawl into my bed, and I sleep.
It's your safe space.
It's my safe space. It's my safe hole. It's like a little cave. If I could, I'd be a hobbit living in a little hobbit home. You know
Everybody's
what I mean?
home should be their safe space. Everybody.
And then you step outside, and that's fun.
You got a yard and stuff?
No. I have addicts nodding off in my alley right now. They haven't left in about 15 hours.
Oh dear. I hope they're okay. Well, I mean, they're not okay, but I hope that they're dead at least.
I keep checking on them. Well, I was all day yesterday, and they were still alive and breathing. So I have a Narcan kit out ready just in case.
Yeah.
And I have them all in the area, so it's fun. I don't use my front porch very often because there's a business right in front of me, and then they're all hanging out there. So I kind of go to my backyard, which isn't a yard. It's a massive amount of public and private driveway spots, like parking spots.
It sounds like downtown East Hastings, Vancouver.
It pretty much is, except for small town level. Do you know what I mean? Like it's small town level, which has actually been really eye-opening. Like I was saying to Lisa yesterday, it's been really, really eye-opening. As much as I hate the situation I'm in and all of that stuff, like I know I've always been like a advocate and a voice for like poverty, homeless, addictions, shit like that, right? And so now I'm seeing it really at the ground level, and wow.
Yeah, I used to live like right around the corner from downtown East Hastings, and I always said to people, I'm like, I can't explain it until you're there. Like you have to see it, and you have to be there to understand it, and like not even videos are going to explain to it. Because
Hastings is in BC, right?
Yeah.
Like I talked to a lot.
They have documentaries about that street alone.
Oh yeah,
but
it's something
that's
else.
the thing that we're both saying right now, though, is that even videos, like you see the videos, you see people having like these little interviews with them and all that stuff. It doesn't, until you experience it and see it and speak to these people in person, you are just not going to grasp the full picture of what's really happening.
And there's no reason why things should be that bad living in a supposed first world country.
Because you know we're not in a first world country.
We're oil rich, you know, like if we just had better leadership, there would be I don't think this would be happening at the rate that it is. But it's everywhere. It's fucking worldwide right now. Like
they're spreading them.
Governments are cartels, let's just be honest.
What's happening, and I've now seen so far 3 times.
You're cutting out.
Busloads being dropped off. Yeah, sorry. Busloads being dropped off. And then you talk to them and it's like, oh, okay, where are you from? And they're like, Toronto, Ottawa, Kingston, Montreal, all the bigger cities. They're shipping them to the smaller towns. And the problem is that the smaller towns like us, like this isn't a huge city. It's definitely not a huge city. We have one food bank, and then you can go to the Salvation Army, which is a food pantry. That's it. We have one major shelter. 12 of those beds are reserved for prisoners for when they get out. And we have no social resources, like no rental supplements right now, no emergency help, nothing. Fucking nothing. But yet at least 3 times in the past month, I've seen those big buses, those Canada buses, whatever, right? Drop off like 30 or 40 of them here.
Yeah, there it
This
is.
is Hastings. Yep. For those who don't know, this is in Vancouver.
And I'm going to tell you, like, I actually talked to a lot of these people because my ex relapsed and I had to find him. It was terrible. But anyways, these people, there were 2 people who literally saved my life. Like, and they were addicts. They were like, society would deem them awful freaking humans. But like, again, the conversations I had with these people, like it was like they wanted to protect me. When I say they were protecting me, like I can't even explain it. Like I feel like they were earthbound angels. When I look back in retrospect, like I can't, like I will never, ever, ever down an addict. Like it's just a whole other world. Like you can't explain it.
I have a few of them here, right? When they first come and they don't know the neighborhood, they don't know the rules or whatever. Like last week, they made a huge mess in my parking area. And this is the area where I take the dogs and stuff like that. And like I was able to establish like some boundaries, some respect boundaries. Like, listen, like I'm not going to judge you. I don't care if you're using or like whatever, what you do. But please don't leave your paraphernalia. Don't leave your little baggies. Don't leave all of that stuff because I do have dogs, right? And so the majority of them, because I've handed them out like little snacks or little, like one of the girls needed some hygiene stuff, right? Things like that. I gave a guy a lighter, whatever. They come by, they clean my yard, like my parking space now twice a week. Just to make sure, just to be like, you know what, she's kind to us, we're going to be kind to her.
And they're so used to people being awful to them, and that's also sad too, is that the littlest thing they're grateful for, which is an amazing thing, but if you look at the flip side, it's like because they're so used to being treated like they are less than human, the littlest thing.
Yeah. They're not treated like they're sick. They're treated like they're like monsters to society.
Yeah.
And what's very frustrating, right? Like, you guys were talking about Facebook and stuff like that. So last week I went on Facebook and I made a post. And most of the people on here should already know that my stance is fuck the entire 338, right? Like, fuck them all. But I made a post and this girl that I've known for years is constantly coming at me and has got her head so far up Mark Gerritson's ass that I'm sure she can lick his spleen. She kept going on and on and on and on about it. And this post had to do with like the homelessness issues and all of that stuff and healthcare issues. And she's like, those are provincial matters. And I'm like, I understand how the government works. However, what you're missing is that this is happening federally. It is happening all across the fucking board. So there's got to be a time where we stop and we look at it collectively and hold everybody accountable. Provinces and the federal government need to sit down with the municipalities and have a conversation about what they all can do collectively to improve the system. And then she's like, that sounds like a bunch of PP rhetoric. I'm like, when the fuck did I mention Pierre? Like, I'm not even talking about that. Like, they're so focused in on who they're supporting rather than the real fucking problems that are happening that need to be addressed. So it's very hard to get that message out that like, listen, like it's not just happening here in buttfuck Ontario. It's also happening, you know, in Manitoba, it's happening in Saskatchewan, it's happening in Alberta, it's happening in BC, it's happening in the Northwest Territories, it's happening in Whitehorse, it's happening in the East Coast. This is a fucking problem that we as a nation need to come together. That's why I reposted that Terry Fox video where it was just him running alone, and then you saw like all the other Canadians kind of running behind him and continue the run. That's what I feel like we need to do, is realize like this isn't just a one province issue. This is not a
Why
small
is it so
issue.
bad in Vancouver though? They're showing bongs, so I don't want to get.
Most likely because the weather is a little bit easier to deal with.
Is it because there's a port there too, you think? Because we don't see it like that in Nova Scotia, do we? Unless it's just not getting the attention. But like,
it's the weather. They can live there year round. They can live there year round. So a lot of them hitchhike down there.
That's true because it's warmer, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've also learned about the addicts here is they do not, especially if they're using fentanyl and stuff like that, they do not like extreme temperature change. They can't deal with it. Like I've walked outside, it started pouring rain, and this one lady just started yelling and screaming and trying to figure out a way to find shelter because it was hurting them. They don't
also in Vancouver.
So weird.
Not to be rude, Red. Vancouver's always had an issue. It was part of the heroin problems.
Oh, the heroin is so
and
bad.
then there was a huge mental hospital there that they dissolved, and they just let these people out on the streets as well. So this is not just a 10-year problem or a 20-year problem. This has been going on since the 70s in Vancouver.
Yep. My cousin used to live on Hastings. He was during the heroin times. That's where he was. And he overcame and all that stuff. And he now works to help addicts and stuff like that. Like he's still down there doing everything he can to help those so that they have a chance to.
And in the since COVID's happened, because a lot of people lost a lot of resources and then a lot of trauma has come, Vancouver is probably 10 times worse than it was before. So it's unbelievable. Plus, Vancouver is incredibly expensive to live in.
Yep.
Right? So the homeless epidemic is I don't know how anybody affords to live there, to tell you the truth. When you're looking at $3,000 for a bachelor suite.
And that it's the same down here, right? Like a friend of mine right now is renting a room that he can't even fit his mattress in this room. Okay. It's in Ottawa. So I'm trying to look for resources because of my experience. I wanted to be able to say like, here's who to call and all that stuff. I started looking at like one rooms and bachelors and stuff like that. And like the prices are unreal. And then you go down to social services. And like I was talking to an emergency caseworker the other day and I said, I'm like, you seem like you got into the job for the right reasons. And he's like, but I'll tell you right now, it's starting to really hurt. And I'm like, I can imagine. So he's like, before noon. So before his lunch break that day, he had to tell 6 people who had just gotten out of homelessness, either from women's domestic violence shelters or other shelters, right? Who are trying to better their life, that there's absolutely no resources to help them. So they're risking being homeless again because there's nothing to help them get on their feet. Nothing.
It's true.
You know?
There's nothing for them.
And that's heartbreaking. That's absolutely heartbreaking. Like, I don't know. I just think like as
like this is like Philadelphia and LA and stuff, you know, like
Billy said down there, it's getting more visible, and it is, and it's spreading into the towns, it's spreading into the small towns and all of that shit. And there doesn't seem to be any solutions other than, okay, a bunch of politicians and stuff are coming into town. Let's remove the tent cities like they did in Hamilton or whatever. That doesn't solve this. That doesn't solve the problem.
These people need help.
Like
we need more resources. We need more there's so many empty buildings that can be easily turned into places for these people to like have beds to be able to get treatment. You know, or even just get off the street.
And then you have the constant argument of you can't force someone to want to get clean.
I know. People do tend to get clean.
You're right, Billy. I was saying that yesterday.
If they have some hope or some faith to look forward to, like they could, you know, if you get clean, I don't know. Like, I've never been an addict, obviously, so I can only speak from somebody who's like loved an addict. But yeah, just you can't force them into treatment. Obviously you can't force them, but a lot of them, if they have a lot of incentive too, like if people are like, oh, I'm going to go into treatment to what? Come out to homelessness again, to come out to no support, to come out to nothing. But then if it's like, you know, you go into treatment, you're going to come out with a job, you're going to come out with a home, you're going to come out with people that are here for you, you're going to come out with a chosen family or your real family, whatever the case may be. There needs to be more support in that way. Like give them a reason. Some people to feel like they have no reason to get sober. It's like, okay, get sober for what? You know?
The thing is, it's like Billy mentioned it down there, and I think I mentioned it yesterday too, that, right, like we can't just look at the government and put all the responsibility on them. We are a community, whether we realize this or not. We are a community. From one coast to the other, we're all Canadians, and this problem has grown. We all need to take accountability for it. And that's why I was saying to you yesterday, like, start at your municipal level, start going to the town hall meetings, start talking to your public sector, representatives and things like that. Start getting involved and figure out ways to get community programs going, community startups going. When you get that going, then you can start approaching things like the provincial level and then the federal level, right? Because it's coming straight from the streets. We have to take accountability for each other. We can't just say, oh, it's Doug Ford's fault, or it's Trudeau's fault, or it's whatever BC's MP's fault is, or whatever. We can't just say that, because it's grown so bad. It's within our entire system that we as citizens need to hold ourselves accountable into how can we fix this? How can we start to fix it, right? Just even at that baseline level, how can we make this a better situation? Hello?
Hey, sorry, I was muted because I'm scrubbing things. I guess, like, yes, you're talking right in the right situation, but we also have to look at this is trauma, right? Addiction is trauma. These people do not want to live this way. They just don't know how else to cope. And every day that they're living out there, more awful things are happening and more trauma is existing, right? So this is a multi-system problem. This is not just on our legal system or our healthcare system or our home. Like it needs to be all fixed. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of kindness and being nicer to each other is just a little thing that all of us can do, right? Whether it is treating somebody like a human being, or donating, or I just, there's little things, right? And those things will
even just going down and like
things.
showing, being like, hey, and like getting to know their names and who they are, and be like, hey, Jennifer, like, how's your day going today? Do you need anything? Like, are you hydrated? Do you need clean socks? Just going down and like actually bonding with these people without a camera in their face, and like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I know I was saying last night that like I've been thinking about perhaps going around and getting their stories however they see fit, like doing photojournalism, but not to exploit, but rather to advocate and raise awareness and get these issues known and like humanize people. But I also like, it's important to be able to go down and like help people without filming it, without making it like a pat on the back kind of situation too. That's where the fine lines are, right? You don't want to blur those lines. Like, it's hard. I want to help get people's stories out, and I want to help get people reconnected with their families again. And like, some people find help that way. It's a complex issue. I'm sorry. I'm sort of like tiptoeing around it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So it sucks. I wish I could speak more authentically on here. I'd be a lot more articulate and make more sense, but
No. Listen, anybody who's going to judge what you just said is not listening or seeing the full problem. What you're saying it would be helpful. It would be, because, for example, there's this old guy. I told you the story yesterday, right? Like, this old guy, we'll just call him Ted. Okay. That's not his name. He informed me of his name, but we'll call him Ted for his own protection, his own safety. Okay. So every time I went outside, he was like gathering stuff up and all of that stuff. And he's like, I just want to make the area clean. You could tell that this guy probably hasn't had a bath or a shower in about, I don't know, months. Okay. Absolutely months. He looks absolutely tired, heartbroken. You can see it in his eyes. Like, you can see the sadness in this guy's eyes. And just showing him kindness. Like, the one day he knocked at my door because he'd gotten beaten and robbed that day, and he needed a lighter, and he wasn't using it for anything. He needed one to have a cigarette. And so I gave him a lighter, I gave him some cookies, I gave him a couple tea pouches and all that stuff, and like said, here. And he just looked at me. He had a tear running down his eyes. He's like, you're a really good human being. Nobody ever treats me with respect. Nobody ever treats me with even like I'm a human being. And I asked him, I said, how long have you been here? And he's like, this is my 3rd year. And I'm like, have you received any help? He's like, no. He's like, there is no help. There's no resources. I can't get the help.
And that's sad, right? It's like, how do they have the energy and the like spirit to advocate for themselves loudly to reach a lot of people when they're barely just like getting through the day?
But here's the thing, though.
That's where I want to come in and try to see if I can help get their stories out. Maybe not even take pictures of their faces or anything if they don't want that. It's all consensual. Take pictures of their hands and just show like the state that their hands are in alone, you know, like frostbite stuff or like anything to just show like this is what these people are living in, you know, and here's their story. So sorry, go ahead, angry liberal.
Let me start off by asking something. You think when we're dealing with something like cancer, that a scientist needs to understand how cancer operates and works, right? Why cancer does the things that it does before we can create treatments and cures for it, right? So you got to understand why people are not apathetic to the plight of these people who live on the streets.
Why are people not apathetic?
Well, because progressives want to push way too much morality down people's throats. And a lot of people just don't have the time or the money to be apathetic about everything. And doesn't really help anything when you align yourselves with a group of radicals out there going around harassing people constantly to try to achieve their political goals. And who also go around saying, oh, well, I don't care about your country. I'm going to destroy your country until I get my objectives met. You know what I'm talking about.
I kind of like, we were talking about homelessness and then it went to that. So I'm just trying to figure out where the jump happened and process. I'm sorry.
I've sat in boxes with people from the left, people from the center, people that are NDP supporters, people that are liberal supporters, people that are conservative supporters. I've talked to all of them about this subject, and they all, every single person I've spoke to has said exactly what Billy's saying down there, that it's a nonpartisan issue. It should not be political. This is a huge wound within our society that we need to address.
It is political. When it deals
politics
with funding,
can affect these things for sure. Absolutely, they can. But when it comes down to us, like morality is a big thing, and a lot of people have become very, like you were saying, apathetic. They just don't care. They don't have the energy to care.
What I was saying is that people have become desensitized to.
Yes, which makes them be more apathetic towards things, right? So
no. What?
Well, it does. If you become desensitized to stuff, sometimes people do become. If you're thinking empathetic, are you mixing up empathetic with apathetic? Because those are two different words.
No, I understand they're two different words.
Okay, I didn't know.
Desensitized to certain issues, you're not going to be apathetic or empathetic.
Well, empathetic means that you care a lot and you're feeling what other people are and you're showing that. And apathetic means that you're basically disconnected from it.
All right. So my question to you is, if you're walking down the street and you see all this, do you not show any empathy towards it? Do you not say that this is wrong simply because you you're political?
Even just internally, just walking by being like, this needs to change. Like, so, this isn't okay. And, you know, or are you somebody who's like stepping over top of people that are laying on the street and on your way to Starbucks because you're like, oh, whatever, what can I do about it?
Do you look at it and do you just instantly go, well, this is the liberals' fault, or this is the conservatives' fault, or this is the NDP's fault? Or do you look at it and say, holy shit, what can I do as a Canadian citizen that can help somehow? What's your first instinct when you see this?
First instinct?
Yep.
It's the city's problem.
It's the
So you're
city's problem.
but you're a citizen of the
Tax dollars to
city. You're a
It's the
citizen of the
city.
city and you're a taxpayer, so it's your problem too.
No,
Yeah.
it's my city
Yeah.
to deal with. I pay tax dollars to them. They need to deal with it.
Deal with what?
So it's not your problem.
No,
It's
no.
not
Deal
your
with
problem.
other human being like you. So you morally as a human being, you feel like you need permission or the go ahead from somebody else of a higher status to tell you that it's okay to care or to do something.
No, I don't.
Because you're
need
relying on the
permission.
city, but you're
I
a
simply
citizen of
don't.
the city. You are the city too.
I simply don't.
It's part
So
of your
force
responsibility as
people
well
to
to
care.
care about the people that live in your town.
So question.
The problem here is that you guys think that you guys can force people into caring, and now you're trying to
No.
shame me
Who's
into
saying
caring.
that? Who said that? Who said that? Nobody
You're
said
trying to
force.
shame
I'm not
me
forcing
right now.
you. Just
You're not caring. It's not going to work.
Because you're not accepting it as that it's part of your community. Just you're actually what you're doing is
That could
you're
be
bending
you.
the knee to government decisions. Let's say next week you get in a bad, God forbid as well, but you get in a really bad accident. And you're not able to work, and like 6 months from now, you end up in a homeless situation,
Right.
and you're addicted to the painkillers and the opiates and all of that stuff.
But yeah, say you broke your back and you were put on pain meds and all
Yeah.
of a sudden you're
Right.
overprescribed and now you're addicted, you can't make rent, you don't have your job anymore. Now you're one of them and then people walk by you and you're asking for help and they're like, well, it's not my fault, it's the city's fault.
No, I won't be one of them.
Well, you don't know that.
No, I do know that
That's-
because I plan
Most
on
people
doing
who
a
say
certain
that won't
type of
happen
Well,
to
then
me,
that's
it ends up
privilege.
happening to them. So be careful what you
You're
say.
extremely privileged because I know a lot of people
do you
from
mean?
all levels of
Yeah, we don't want that
financial-
to happen
What
to
do you
you.
think?
We don't want
Wait! You're making a huge.
it's like put your
assumption right now.
shoe
You don't-
put your foot
Oh
in
my
someone's
God,
shoe
look at
kind of
this.
situation.
You're making a huge assumption. If you
No,
say
no.
I'm privileged for wanting to do what I want to do in that situation, you are crazy, Greg.
Okay, so you think that you'll never end up in that situation,
That's not
so
what I
you
said.
don't have any
That's not what I
empathy for
said.
those that are in that
That's not what I
situation,
said.
and you're not willing to even go down to a town
wait.
hall meeting and demand that your
That's what I said.
city.
You twisted me.
What would you do then? Okay, what can you
Putting
clarify
words
for
in
us
my
then?
mouth. This is what I'm talking about.
No, no,
You guys
what would
want
you
us to
say
feel
then?
empathetic,
How do you
but
feel about
you
it
just
then?
twist things to force us to feel.
No,
something.
how do you feel about
Force
these
anything.
people? How do you feel about them? Like when you walk down the street and you see someone struggling and stuff, do you ever like what goes through your mind when you see them? Do you just say, "Oh, this is the city's problem," or do you actually
sucks. That sucks. That's what I tell myself. That sucks.
do you ever say hi to them?
feel
Do you ever
bad
like
for
give
about
water to
5
people? Do you ever
3
do
minutes,
anything to
then
try to
I
help?
leave, and then it's over. Then I continue with my life.
Do you ever go to your city?
Do I ever go to?
Do you ever go to your city town halls? Do you ever talk to your local municipality and say, like, listen, this is a problem? For example, if I go by our public library, you're going to see about, anywhere from 2 to 20 addicts actually using, or just homeless people, right, who aren't addicts, just trying to stay warm and stuff like that. You now have children. You have children walking in and out of the library. You have elderly people walking in and out of the library. They're all witnessing this. They're all seeing this. Okay. Do you, as a member of your municipality, your town, do you say, like, you know what, this is a really sad situation, change needs to be made? Or do you just ignore it?
Question. I don't know why you're asking the question again and rephrasing the question.
Because you're saying you're ignoring it, so you're not going to contribute
And now
anything. You're going to wait for your government to do
You're going to
it.
kick me off.
You're going to wait for your government to do
I don't
it.
adopt your morality.
It's okay. No, you're kneeling down to your government. That's all it is. You're kneeling down to your government rather than taking a stand in accountability of being a citizen of this nation, of your municipality, of
citizen
your
of this
province.
nation. I pay tax
You're like,
dollars
it's
to
not
this
my
nation.
fucking problem.
And
You
I
made
can
it
tell you
clear.
it's not
Sarah,
my
get it.
Hi, David. Welcome to the panel. Hi,
purchasing
Rocky.
of goods and services. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I donate.
it's clear.
I donate to the food
No.
bank every 2 weeks. Every payday, I'll go to the food bank and I'll give them money, give them food. But outside that, I don't do nothing else. You know.
No, that's an amazing step, though, Roger. Like, what you do is actually helping people.
I do help,
That's
but if I see
you as
people
a
in the
citizen
streets,
of your community, helping.
if I see people in the streets, I'll just ignore and keep walking. I'm sorry, but I work a lot and I have to support my family
Yeah.
first.
You can't help every
I can't help
individual one,
everybody.
but you're donating to the food bank. You're
I
doing your
acknowledge
part
their
as
existence
part
at
of the
least when I walk by them. I'll say hi to them and stuff, you know, if they're awake and whatnot. I'll be like, hey, or if like someone's passed out and I've got a bottle of water, I'll just leave my water with them.
But to be
There's
fair,
times
there's-
I've gone like to the market, I'll get berries. I'm walking back with the berries and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of berries and this person probably needs some nutrients. So I'll just put the berries next to them.
there is no homeless in my town. There's 20,000 people here, not a single homeless.
Oh man,
Because
I
there's
got
a lot
40K.
of work.
We have a soup kitchen. We have a safe injection site. We have a safe supply or whatever. We have a methadone clinic. And then we have the homeless shelter.